आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही। हेलो, नहीं, सिस्टम से आवाज नहीं आ रही है। हेलो, हेलो,
Yes, I can hear
हेलो,
you.
हेलो,
Hello. Yes, audible now.
हेलो, हेलो,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yeah, Bharat, you're audible. We can hear you. We can
Audible,
hear you.
audible.
You can start the presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, guys. Obviously, a slightly delayed session wherein we just a minute. So slightly did apologies for the delay. Obviously, internet connection is weak across the board, which has its effect on various our connectivity. Everybody is online. Now, this session is for people who have taken loans from various financial providers last year, are in the first year or in the second year. Now, what we have in these sessions will cover how the interest rates are going to be different for your existing loans. That's the first aspect. The second is the loan requirement, which is what kind of, if you need any additional loan, etc., which would be required. The new application process, in case you look at so the new application process, in case you are now looking to apply for a loan and you haven't applied earlier. Another aspect is the moratorium in terms of point of it, and repayment flexibility is basically in case you have a moratorium period, if the extension is possible. One, say repayment flexibility is about if you've already started repaying the loan and you are looking at stopping, or you are unable to pay the loan due to whatever reason. So we will cover those aspects as well. So first, how will the interest rates fluctuate during COVID-19? So what is going to happen is, across the board, the major banks, which are the nationalized banks or the private banks, have cut the interest rate because the repo rate has been cut at 4.4. So what you are going to see, so those are the students who have taken last year loans from these financial providers, you will right now see a cut in rate. Could be anywhere between 0.75% to 1.5%, depending on where you are. What is going to happen if for your existing loan which you have taken from the NBFCs? So the ones you have taken from NBFCs, at HDFC Credila currently has cut its rate by 0.25. Avance, Incred, Oxolo have at the moment kept stable rates. So none of them have increased or decreased the rates. What we are looking at, there might be a slight increase in rates from the NBFCs. This is due to the liquidity scenario presently, and that's where it will happen. Now, in terms of international funds, so last year Elite Finance was not there, but Empower and Prodigy you use. So in terms of Empower and Prodigy, we have Prodigy basically follows a variable rate, so it is dependent on LIBOR. Now what happens is, in terms of LIBOR, it has currently 3-month LIBOR is at 1.05, which is one of the it's never been so less until the last US recession, which was in 2010-11, and that will affect your Prodigy rate. So all of the guys who have taken Prodigy loans will get reduced. Empower and Leap Finance, no change because they are fixed, so nothing is going to happen there. What is going to happen in a fixed or variable loan are linked to LIBOR. Now, all the financial providers across the board have decreased their loan by about 1.5%. So that is one thing which is good news. So all of you guys who are taken US bank loans or planning to take US bank loans, definitely these loans are on the decrease. So let me put it to you that Indian loans are all flexible. None of them is fixed. So your loans will be impacted by COVID-19, even if you have taken it last year. So even if you negotiated something like 11.10 versus something like 11.25, but the current rate of the NBFC is what will govern your loan. Now, all those students who until last year thought that they could manage the situation due without loan aspect, so this typically says obviously looking at the current situation, summer internships are going to be hard to find because the overall country is in a lockdown. So across US, across Australia, across Europe, these were earning opportunities for students, and a good rich in experience and earning. Now what is going to happen is, due to this, you might look at enhancements, you might look at apply for new loans. So in terms of enhancements, State Bank of India and BOB are not typically, we've spoken to the credit heads and they've come back to us stating that in terms of enhancements, there's not too much we can do. Axis will typically not looking at an enhancement from a non-collateral perspective, but both of them can look at enhancement with security. So if you've taken Axis or ICICI, both of them can look at with security. What Avance and the NBFCs, what Credila and Avance have said is they can look at secured enhancements. That's definitely there. Both Auxilio and Cred. In fact, Avance has been the most forthcoming. They have increased the ad hoc limit by 80,000 to 2 lakhs, which technically means that all of you students can draw 80,000 or 2 lakhs over and above your present total loan sanction value. And that's brilliantly done. And they're very supportive. So those who have taken Avance can look at this quite seriously. Now, all of those people who are looking at loans per se and are looking at new loan applications, being in the US, it starts getting a bit difficult per se. You have to have a concept of power of attorney. What is a power of attorney? The power of attorney is a document which you provide to, say, your parents in India, wherein they can sign papers on behalf of you. This loan is a legal binding, so it's very important. This power of attorney cannot be just on a stamp paper. It has to be the various steps involved. So the first step is once each bank has its own format of power of attorney, you first need to get it attested by the Indian Embassy in the US. Once you attest this power of attorney, you need to come back, and when your parents here need to pay the stamp duty on the district collector's office, and then the procedure of loan can start. So very important, guys, this power attorney concept. It's important for you to understand that what exists and how we can do it. We at Loans can completely help you out. Please reach out to us if you need loans across the board, and we'll definitely get it. There is one lender, when we spoke to these lenders, the entire past week we've been speaking to them, understanding how are they approaching COVID-19. So one lender, which is HDFC Credila, is ready to sign the documents by courier, which means you can get the courier or the loan agreement by email. You can sign it and send it back by courier across. So that's what they are supporting. Unfortunately, none of the others right now are supporting, but I think as far as we are concerned that this will change. Definitely they have to evolve, just like the US universities. I-20 earlier was shipped, now it is sent by scan copy, and that is acceptable. Same thing would happen even in this format. So we are hoping, we're just waiting for things which become more easy for you to apply for loans sitting in the US or Australia or whichever foreign country you are currently. Now let's assume this is typically for the students who are looking to pass out this year, which means at the moment the students who are passing out this year are the ones who are will have to maybe hunt more for a job compared to maybe maybe last year. However, it's not impossible to get one. So what the banks do is they support in by a thing called moratorium period. Typically, all financial providers, so not to worry here at all financial providers of your loan can take in between 6 months to 1 year. So when you have taken a loan, across the board, your repayment does not start it starts only 1 year. So that is so you are comparatively safe. You have a year for you to start your repayment of your loan. And furthermore, when we spoke to all the financial partners, we have 14 people on the platform, and we work with 14 people across the board, and we kind of help and guide them. They were ready to increase the moratorium period based on case-to-case basis. So that was an important thing which came on board. And that's where I guess all of you who are passing out this year need not worry about repayment of education loans at all. So, you still have a year to start your repayment. Now, how about repayment flexibility? Now, this is where it slightly gets a bit tough. All the students who are currently so this is for the typical students who have currently started their jobs and are looking at maybe flexibility in repayment, which means the EMIs which they pay per month on month, they, in case of due to whatever job loss or furlough or temporary hold of pay, etc., might not have the ability to pay for their education loan aspect that they can. So now this is where various financial providers have their own way of functioning. So for example, we checked up with Bank of Baroda. Now Bank of Baroda has a scheme wherein they are ready to restructure the loan for 3 times 6 months each, which means that in case you lose your job, you can inform them, but it is important to inform them. You inform them that you would not be able to pay the future EMIs for the next 2, 3, 4 months. They can restructure the loan for 6 months. As State Bank of India also has a similar structure, they can also look at restructuring your loan and flexibility in case of job loss. Now, these two banks are quite open and they are ready to work with the student in the present COVID-19 scenario. And then in terms of how you guys can look at is very positive. The other banks on the platform, ICA and Axis, are ready to approve by case-to-case basis, which means that in case you are looking at this flexibility, 100% you can look at case-to-case basis. Another aspect which you would want to consider here is that all these banks or providers are governed by RBI, and they have to follow certain norms. So it is important for you to inform early. There is no restructuring possible in case you stop paying and you become in their books what is called is NPA or a subpar asset. That's when the issue hits you. So it's good to talk to them. All of them have websites, and you can write into them and check what you have to do. On the other hand, when we checked up various NBFCs on the repayment flexibility, comparatively they are a bit more stringent. What happens in their case is they are already giving you the maximum tenure. So it is already a 10 years or a 15-year tenure which the student has been able to give you, which they have been able to give you when you applied for the loan, and they by law are not allowed to extend that period. So it becomes slightly a touchy topic. However, when we spoke to all of them, they were ready to look at COVID is pandemic, in at least in our lifetime. So it's a one-off case, and they are ready to make a call. But under current situation, all of them said that post 15th of April, when the lockdown kind of opens up, is when they look at this flexibility. So we are expecting that it will be flexible. However, at this present moment, they currently do not have the provisions for a delay in the repayment. Another aspect which comes on board is the international funds. So that's the empowers and prodigies of the world. Now what happens is, so they are currently when there is some repayment flexibility, they all have on their website, when you go to say Prodigy website, they have, are you looking at a new loan, or are you looking at moratorium, or are you looking at repayment? If you click on the tabs, immediately it goes by to credit on a case-to-case basis. Both of them are ready to be flexible. So it's not the end of the world in case some EMIs are missed. So things are flexible, and but it is important for you to reach out. That's the most important thing in case of repayment. And in case, so for both the set of students, the ones who are passing out this year and are looking at, so we still have 1 year of moratorium, and you can continue, or you can, and they can, it can be extended by another 3 months is what usually people do it. So a 15-month moratorium is when you have for the flexibility of start of education loan. So that should be the least of your worries across. For the ones who have already functioning or on H1B at the moment, then we will look at the structure wherein we will have them, you have to reach out to your financial providers, tell them that a particular period of span of time, due to unavoidable circumstances, you are unable to pay the loan, and they will definitely cooperate. So things overall are looking, in the positive side. The financial industry is possible. Another thing which has happened recently is the RBI place wherein for month of March, April, and May, they are becoming, or you can choose to pay in later, your EMIs, that is. Now, most of the banks have not kept it fixed. So they are saying that in case you would want to look at this flexibility, we will offer you. So you have to ask. It is not a blanket cover. Most of the financial institutions, in fact all of them, have said that this, in fact, actually the delay in repayment will actually hurt the customer more, in case, because it will obviously add accrued interest. And in case if he is ready to repay, we would advise him that keep it on schedule. So in as far as the repayment goes, in case you can repay, please go ahead and keep repaying your loan. Obviously, it keeps you and your parents here all in terms of good credit history and check, and that's what we look forward to. Okay, how do you work on enhancement or moratorium applications? This is the most important things which you have. So we basically, this place is to cover three things, 3 or 4 things. First was the interest rates, how that has got affected. So your existing loan which you have, how would it happen? Second is the enhancements which you are looking at for your short-term funding gaps. Those we can cover very easily. Enhancements need to be approached to the same RM, that is edu loans or the bank RM, and they will process your case. In case of an enhancement, certain banks have certain percentage enhancements. We do not require too much of paperwork. In case enhancements are more collateral led, which means that in case they approach last year you took 40 lakhs in from Credila and are expecting to cover the cost of education due to personal earnings or personal savings, which currently may not exist, and you're looking at more loan from them. So what they would want is, they would look at more collateral in place, and against collateral they are ready to top up. At this stage they are not ready to top up purely non-collateral basis. So that's the first thing in terms of enhancement that you can look at quite seriously across the board in case you are anything, and please reach out to us and we will help you end to end with that process. The other aspect is in terms of the moratorium, both after your course and in the middle, if you are on H1B or you are currently working and your EMIs are coming in, both of them need to be reached out quickly. There is a standard application, there is standard process. There is a power attorney which will be required. Those formats need to be arranged. Once those formats are arranged across the board, those things move in, and we would be able to help you out with that. So all of us, any of those applications, etc. Another word of caution here, in case I mean, we cannot predict what is going to happen. So across the board, so if you're well aware, Empower currently has stopped new loan disbursement, which means that they are not disbursing any new loans at the moment, but they are hereby honoring previous commitment on existing loans. In terms of Prodigy, they are again honoring, they are fully functional. So there are options of students who are looking at other loan providers. So we can definitely help you to help get better, or maybe not better, but more safer deals across the board for your financing requirements. And the faster you reach out to us on this, it will be better, because we can plan and restructure the loan accordingly. So these are times wherein which are quite critical in nature, and a good safe bet on this would be good. Another aspect which I would like to highlight, which we are facing, or the comments which we are looking at, is regarding disbursement from banks or disbursement from other financial institutions, as most of the courses are online. Now, we have been speaking to many people, and as long as the university is raising their demand for you, and whether it is online or on campus, it is immaterial. So it is important to tell any RM, or sometimes these credit officers are not aware in terms of it is the university raised demand, and once that email is forwarded, this much courses is remaining and these modules or credits are remaining, that will happen. Now, for example, another thing which we would want to highlight, say for in terms of, say, Prodigy, what they do is, Prodigy basically has a functionality wherein they can enhance your loan. So all the students who had taken previous loan from Prodigy, and maybe 50% of the gold loan got sanctioned, rather than 100%, and they are short by that 50%. If you have good academics to prove that you have got a good GPA, if you have some sort of RA, research assistantship, teaching assistantship, graduate assistantship, or scholarships, you can definitely reapply, and they will consider an enhancement of your loan on the present loan itself. So that's one thing which you should definitely look at. In terms of NBFCs, it's only mostly, it'll be collateral backed. That's, again, I'm repeating the same thing. It's mostly there you would get a collateral backed kind of an movement. They are reluctant to look at enhancements non-collaterally. In terms of State Bank of India, BOBs, ICICIs, Axis, all of them, again, collateral backed, but in case you're looking at those enhancements, the collaterals and power of attorney is required. So that's a very important document, and we would look at that structure across the board. So this is how you can enhance your loan, or you can get through this moratorium period. One very important thing across the board, we have your backs covered. We are in constant chat with the financial institutions. In this scene, you're not alone. We will let you get over this storm. It's very important, and we are looking at helping or budding the gap. So all of you guys who are out there, who are facing any financial situation, please reach out to us, and we will try to help you end to end. And in terms of banks, we directly deal with all of them. We are completely online. In fact, loans across the board, we are becoming digital, which means that our applications will be going online to these financial providers, and we will be taking in from there. So I hope that was the gist of the sessions and solved a lot of your queries and concerns. So this is the least of them which we can look at. Now we kind of look at, we can have Hiren on the board. Hiren is our lead counselor at Imperial, and he can look at various sessions and he can discuss how and what will happen in the next 2-3 months forward.
Hi, I guess it's good morning to you all. It must be early morning at your place right now, around 8:30, 9:30, 10 at your place. So good morning. I guess you're woken up early with work from home and sitting at home idle. It's like early rising period for you guys. the main point here, I would not like to beat behind the bush. The main point here is that yes, there is an economic recession. There are jobs which are not available. I won't say people are being fired directly. The skilled labor is still getting. They are still there. They are still working. But finding an internship, finding a job right now is a bit difficult. So being patient, holding on to your guns is like the most important thing right now for you. There would be many rumors coming around in this period. Like just yesterday, there was something wherein apparently people who are supposed to be on H1, the government government is firing them. I mean, it's not in the government's hand to fire anyone; it's in the company's hands. Okay, so the company has to decide whether they want to keep a person or throw a person away. It's not the government who's going to decide for employment. So it's just okay. Basically, the article is defining what an H1B visa holder is, but the headline for several articles like these are misleading. So you need to hold tight. That's it. I agree. I mean, internships in the summer term might be a bit difficult, but very recently, I think just like half an hour ago, I came across an article from some renowned scientist and doctor from the US stating that ideally from May first week, business should be starting as usual in the US. It is a refreshing article. I can share it with you guys later on. I just read it just 10-15 minutes before this webinar actually started. Uh, so honestly speaking, I'm yet to go through it completely, but yeah, but these are the things that are going on. I mean, my main point is stay away from rumors, hold tight. Things are, fingers crossed, hopefully going to get better. Uh, Many of you, like, we've been getting calls, emails, WhatsApp from many students who are already abroad, and they're asking, sir, should we come back for the summer semester now, like be at home in India with our parents and all? I obviously, in such type of situation, your parents would want you to be with them. You would also want to be with your parents and family, basically, no doubt about it. But my simple thing is that this is a time when ideally we should, at least for the next month or two, maybe we should avoid air travel. Okay, we don't know what will happen. Like when the lockdown started, the first thing happened was they stopped air travel. In every country, international flights are as of now shut. When they open, they will open. We are not saying no, but initial phase, ideally, air travel can be avoided. Only if extremely necessary, then only we go ahead with it. Otherwise, there's no point doing it. Uh, Talk to your parents daily. Talk to them daily. Tell them you're safe, sound, because they are tense right now. Especially now with the numbers in New York City and New Jersey going up like crazy, people in India are getting scared. My sister is working in Houston right now, so we are in touch with her. And she's in the medical facility. She's a physiotherapist. She has to go to work every day, barring weekends, obviously. And our extended family members are calling either me or my mom daily and asking them, how is your sister doing? And she's fine. She's cool. She's in the health facility. She knows what is to be done. She knows how to take care of herself. Same way, you too know how to take care of yourself, but your parents here are not aware if you are taking care of yourself or no. So, so talk to them daily. Just show them your face daily. I mean, a video call will never harm you. A 5-minute video call with your parents will never harm you. I understand you would be busy with some other activities in your life, but do that. And with regards to job and everything, the market would open up. It will take time. Again, I'm not saying the market would open up immediately, even though I did quote an article which I read a few minutes back that from May first week, things are supposed to get back to normal by some, as per some experts. My anticipation is post-election, the market should open up. So December, Jan is when things should be fine. So what Bharat explained to you some time back regarding the loan, wherein banks are ready to give concessions or relaxations for the current time being. Please stay in touch with people from EduLoans. They'll tell you exactly what is happening, what is not happening, how you can make the most of the situation right now, or how the banks are helping you right now. You will see there are going to be some losses either for you or for the banks. I agree with that. But things are not going to go down the ground or go crashing immediately. Okay. You have time. December, January onwards, the market will open up. You would be getting some good jobs, internships at that time. So your loan repayment cycle can begin. Yeah, as I said, it'll begin a bit later by 6 months, which is still okay. You can manage stuff. So you can take up options from Banet and team regarding your loan options. And everyone stay safe, hold tight. Again, do let us know what you're doing in your personal space right now. I mean, to keep yourself sane, to keep yourself entertained. We would like to hear. Professionally, we are hearing a lot of things. On in personal space, if you are comfortable, do share with us. we would like to hear maybe if there are some good things to learn from you guys, we can try implementing here. Okay, so stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Hiren. So we would be any questions at the moment.
So for the students, if you have any questions, you can post them either through the questions text box, or you can unmute yourself and pose your questions verbally.
If you are not comfortable sharing your questions on an open platform right now, you can email it to us as well. We are happy with that, no problem.
Right. The students
Yeah,
using their
I
mobile.
guess the question here would be more centric to education loan, etc. and stuff.
Yeah, you might have some personal questions. We are absolutely comfortable if you can email it to us. No problem.
Sure. So just the gist of the session: one, interest rates will vary. Number two, the enhancements are possible case to case. Moratorium both for students who are passing out or those who have already passed out are possible. So things are stabilized, but you need to be proactive and let us know. And in case, and you'll definitely look to enhance or increase the limits. And stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, stay safe, everyone. Take care.